US. You can receive the game and Odyssey job vacancy information by contacting Human Resources at 415-765-4011 or by emailing sfhr@odyssey.com.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
Good morning!
It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Come on!
Oh, yes. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's a Friday. Congratulations. You have made it. Not quite a payday Friday, at least not here. But, man, it's a Friday nonetheless. It's a Super Bowl Friday. It's a post-NBA trade deadline Friday. So we have an awful lot to get into and not a lot of time to do it. The number, 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. That's the Xfinity mobile text line as well. YouTube, Twitch, hello. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, at Spadoni_Joe. And, man, we'll start here. That was one of the craziest NBA trade deadlines I can remember in a long time. Let's just go through all the major deals right off the bat. Let's do it. Let's just dive right in. And it started 2 nights ago. Kevin Durant, TJ Warden, heading to Arizona in exchange for Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Juan Pablo Valle, 4 first-round picks, pick swap, second-round pick, 2 second-rounders. And then the Bucks, they received Jay Crowder. Pacers receive George Hill, Serge Ibaka, Jordan Nwora, 3 future second-round picks. And you're going to be seeing a lot of these second-round pick packages because that was the theme of the day, it felt like. Apparently, you just get rid of 5 second-round picks like it's a box of cupcakes. Now, Clippers, they were desperate. And you'll notice the theme with a lot of these teams adding. A lot of Western Conference teams adding a lot of pieces and trying to compete now with Phoenix, obviously still trying to compete with the Warriors, Denver. So you're going to be seeing a theme here with all these moves. Clippers, they had Mason Plumlee in exchange for Reggie Jackson in a 2028 second-round pick. So Reggie Jackson, he's headed to the Hornets. There's rumors that he is going to reach a buyout. He might be available. 76ers, they receive Jalen McDaniels, 2 second-round picks. Hornets, they receive Svi Mikhailuk, 2 second-rounders. And then the Blazers receive Cam Reddish, Matisse Thybulle, Ryan Arcidiacono, and a 2023 first-round pick. Knicks, after all that, they receive Josh Hart. So a lot of big transactions, and you saw it leaking throughout the day. Like, this is happening. Well, it's actually all together. And we'll get to the Warriors here soon. I promise it was an action-packed day. 3-team trade with Clippers and the Rockets. Clippers received Eric Gordon, 3 future second-round picks. Rockets received John Wall. Yes, he's back. Danny Green, and a protected pick swap from the Clippers. And the Grizzlies received Luke Kennard. Celtics acquire Mike Muscala from the Thunder in exchange for Justin Jackson, 2 future second-round picks. Pelicans trade for Spurs Richardson. So Josh Richardson heads over to the Pelicans for Devontae Graham, 4 second-round picks. And this leads us to the Detroit Pistons landing James Wiseman, the Warriors receiving Gary Payton II, 3 conditional future second-round picks, Hawks receiving Sadiq Bey, and the Trailblazers receiving Kevin Knox and 5 future second-round picks. Okay. There's still a lot more, but quite frankly, I think I'm going to lose what little audience I have if I keep going there. So we'll end with the Warriors. James Wiseman, we hardly knew you. Good luck in Detroit. Rooting for you, James. I don't know if a lot of people are. Seems like a lot of angry, I don't even know if I want to call them fans, but there was a lot of vitriol and hate spewed towards James Wiseman because of where he was drafted, what he was supposed to be and what he ultimately was not. Is that fair to him? Probably not. But sports isn't fair. It's very unforgiving when it comes to fan bases. And for whatever reason, it just didn't work out here. And you bring back an old friend, a guy that was monumental in bringing a fourth chip to Steph, Dre, and Clay, Gary Payton the Gary Payton II. In a vacuum, this was a good day for the Warriors. They have an impact player defensively, a guy they know, a guy they can trust closing games, in exchange for a guy they weren't playing. So yes, this season, the Warriors got better. If you look at under a larger microscope, in a macro sort of view, Wiseman for Gary Payton, that's tough. And I know there's a lot of rumors yesterday. Thought you might have been getting OG and Anunoby. Reports come out. Raptors wanted more. They wanted a Kuminga. Warriors weren't willing to do that. I know some Warriors fans that were. And 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. Are you okay with what the Warriors did yesterday? Was that enough for you to feel confident that this team has enough to compete in the Western Conference? Once Steph returns, you got Gary Payton II back. Still got Wiggins, Clay, Dre, Jordan Poole, Loon Dog, DiVincenzo. Is that enough to compete now with this kind of revamped and reshaped Western Conference? I still like the Suns because no matter what, and you can say what you will about CP3 and his play this season, it's dipped. He's getting older. He's injury prone. Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, the greatest scoring duo probably in the conference. Not even probably. Add in DeAndre Ayton, who's a walking double-double. He's a beast. Chris Paul just needs to be a floor general. I don't need him to be a defensive wizard or a high-scoring threat. I just need him to run that offense. Yes, in spots he will get attacked in the playoffs, and as we know, once playoffs start, the defensive intensity, if you will, it ramps up. And getting a guy like Gary Payton for the Warriors, that's huge. You've already seen DiVincenzo. His defense has been very good. Andrew Wiggins is coming around now. Seems to finally be getting over that adductor strain and that virus that he was on. Draymond Green, you know he's about. One of the best defenders in the league. Klay Thompson, still above average defensively. And you know what you get with Stephen Curry. So if the Warriors can finally start playing some defense, and that's asking a lot because this team has been so inconsistent all season long. Why should I expect anything else? Well, because if history has shown us in the playoffs, they show up. Will they show up this year in a reshaped and revamped Western Conference? Is the West now better than the East? We were just talking a couple days ago, the first time in my lifetime, basically, that the East is better than the West in the NBA. I think the balance has shifted when you get a guy like Kevin Durant. I think the balance has shifted back a little bit. Now, the favorite still to win it all, the Boston Celtics. And the third best odds to win it all, according to Vegas, Milwaukee Bucks. They had Jay Crowder. It's a good move for them. Move on from George Hill. He goes back to the Pacers. From the YouTube chat, Zach, the Suns still suck. LOL, go Dubs. Okay. I don't think they suck, but I think you're saying that I just don't like them. I get it. There would be... Add in another team, as if we didn't want Chris Paul to win it again. I know a lot of Warriors fans would not want Kevin Durant to win another one, but mainly because it would be with Chris Paul. Now, there's a lot of Warriors fans that still root for KD. Sucks how it ended there, but they still root for him. And now that he's in the Western Conference, you can't root for him anymore. Not for that guy. It's the hated Suns. That's the Suns team that was in the finals 2 years ago. Had a series lead over Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks and Chris Middleton. They choked it away. New owner, new expectations in Arizona. And Arizona is the place to be right now. Just in the sports capital of the world currently. Got the Waste Management Open in golf. Got the Super Bowl there Sunday. Got the hottest ticket now in town in the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton. It's a good times in Arizona. Unless you're the Arizona Cardinals, in which case, yikes. There to coach yet in Arizona? Is still figuring that out? Yeah, still waiting. Is it going to be Mike Kafka? That's the latest rumors. God bless anyone that's trying to coach Kyler Murray. I think that guy is a head case. I think that is a lost cause, by the way. Lando on the YouTube chat. Adding GP2 might be the piece we need during the playoff run. Defense really needed help. It did. So that's why I'm saying in a vacuum, yesterday was a good day. And our 95.7 The Game Warriors insider, Anthony Slater, who joined Damon and Ratto, he agrees.
You know, they were searching for a veteran who could help now, and it was not easy to get with James Wiseman on the market, and they were pretty creative in the way they got it to this point that gets Gary Payton the second back. And I mean, the simplest argument is they found a veteran they know fits. I mean, he helps. I think it, you know, if you take two steps back and look at the whole string of moves over the last couple of years, it's not a fantastic look, but you know, you can credit them for accepting mistakes and like you said, kind of leaning into it.
Credit them for accepting mistakes. Yes, you do get some credit. Ideally, you don't want to make a mistake that high in a draft because it comes back to bite you. Now, this team is so stacked that it didn't end up coming to bite them. And no matter what, they won a freaking championship post-Wiseman, however you look at it. Whether he was a contributor or not, they won a chip. So I'm not really buying the whole, the two timeline. They won the chip. I think that two timeline thing gets tossed out. And now you're trying to maximize this season and next season. I think that's it. Right there. Yes, you would like to be competitive after that. Yes, you have an owner that is willing to spend and willing to do whatever it takes to win in Joe Lacob. So no matter what, you will have that. But it's about maximizing this year, next year. And I think that's what a lot of Warriors fans were feeling yesterday. It was just very on edge. You saw the Suns, they made a big move. You saw the Lakers, they're making moves. Warriors, do you feel like you need to make a move? OG Anunoby, be a hell of a player. You feel great about your chances. Guy can play offense, he can play defense. You feel confident in him in the last few minutes of a game. Won a title in Toronto. So he knows what it takes. He's been in high leverage situations before. But Bob Myers, Joe Lacob, the contingent, they didn't want to move off of Jonathan Kuminga. And I don't blame him. Because you realized yesterday James Wiseman is not the future of this team. You shift to Jonathan Kuminga. And I understand Anunoby. He was young. He is young. But the upside for a Jonathan Kuminga opposed to an OG Anunoby, I think, is a level of a difference. What say you? Would you have gotten rid of Jonathan Kuminga if it meant getting OG Anunoby? It would have been Kuminga, probably Moody, and some firsts. Would you have done that for OG Anunoby? Let me know at 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. We will get into some of the Super Bowl. It is Super Bowl. It is a football Friday, if you will. It's been just a crazy week in the NBA as it pertains to us locally. The Warriors just works out sometimes. Sometimes the Super Bowl's big, but it's never as big as the flagship, and that is our Golden State Warriors, and we are the flagship here at 95.7 The Game. Don't miss all the action tomorrow as the Warriors take on the new-look Lakers at Chase Center. Cannot wait for that one. That's a primetime game, so tune in to Warriors Live tomorrow. I believe that's going to be at 4:30. John Dickinson, and we'll have all that coverage for you tomorrow leading up to the game, during the game, the great Tim Roy, and then after the game as well. Take your calls at 888-957-9570. Sadiq Bey, you thought you might be getting him for a little bit. It was Warriors trading James Wiseman for Sadiq Bey. Oh, okay. Interesting. Young player. We know him well. He had a game-winning shot against us at Chase Center this year. Broke our hearts, but it'd be nice to have him. 3-and-D guy. And he's going to Atlanta. Okay. 5 second-round picks. What the hell's going on? You thought it was a salary dump at first for James Wiseman, and then you realized then the news started trickling in. It's going to be James Wiseman going to Detroit, Sadiq Bey going to Atlanta, and then the Blazers sending GP2 to you. Kevin Knox was a part of the deal. He's going to the Blazers. And the dust finally settles, and James Wiseman is on the Warriors, and GP2 is. Here's more from Anthony Slater talking about the Wiseman era in Golden State.
It was convoluted. You go back to like the drafting of them was in November. Drafts are never in November. It was the COVID year. 60 games sounds like a career for James Wiseman when you consider his college career. 3 games. And then, I can remember it was wild. His first training camp we couldn't cover in person because of COVID, so they would just send out these little blips of footage that, and we hadn't seen him yet. And I remember they looked really impressive, and that's like what I'll always remember about those early days of the Wiseman era, where there was just those flashes of like, oh wow, they might have drafted like Giannis, right? I mean, like if I showed you some of his highlight film and that's all you'd seen from his rookie year, remember they started him game 1. I remember talking to the coaches behind the scenes. They were playing in Brooklyn, COVID year, empty arena. Game 1, he'd missed the preseason because he got COVID, and they're like, we're starting him tonight. It was like, whoa, they must have seen something behind the scenes.
There were flashes, to Anthony Slater's point there, but it just never was consistent enough to get him on the floor consistently in big spots and big moments. Seems like he would get lost a bunch of times. He would be in the post. He wasn't getting passed to. Bad body language. People were talking about, I was listening to Steiny and Goo yesterday. Goo was talking about a lot of the bad body language. Gooer felt like he needed a life coach, something like that, but listen, if you need a life coach in the NBA, I don't teach their own. I'm not a whole big believer in the body language. Like Brandon Belt, team bad body language. He was contributing on World Series teams. Like, whatever. It's bad body language and it looks bad when you're not playing well as a team. When you're winning, it's whatever. So we say and bid adieu to the James Wiseman era here in Golden State. I wish him nothing but the best in Detroit. Looks like he's going to be starting there immediately. He's going to get some run. He's going to get some minutes. That's what he needs to do. He needs to play night in and night out. And then you can finally see what you got in the kid. Just keep playing. And that's the only way you're going to get better in any sport or in anything in life. You have to just keep doing it. You just have to work at your craft, hone it. G League's not going to do him any favors. He needs to be up with the big boys to see what you got. So James Wiseman, he's in Detroit. Gary Payton. Good to see you, Gary. He's back. And here's more from Slater on apparently Gary always wanting a reunion back with the Warriors.
I think that it's like somewhat kind of been in the back of their mind, really even since he left. It was like an agonizing decision for him to leave. Like he didn't want to. He's kind of hinted even behind the scenes that he kind of longed to get back. But when they went searching the last couple of days for upgrades, obviously they were attempting to get in the OG and Anunoby sweepstakes, which didn't really even end up being realistic for anybody in the league. That's why he didn't get traded. But as they tried to find veteran upgrades out there, they talked to Portland and about maybe it being like a direct swap, but Portland didn't want James Wiseman. So they had to get creative to, get something for James Wiseman that Portland would take in a package. And he was one of the few, I think, veterans that they did identify as can come in and we know he can be in a closing lineup, because that was kind of their threshold that they had talked about. It was like, no, it's not just a ninth man upgrade that can play, 14 minutes. It has to be somebody good enough to be in the DiVincenzo Kuminga realm of like on certain nights, he's one of our best 5. And there are not many guys for that price range across the league that, you could use James Wiseman to get that fit that description, but they knew that Peyton did because he did it last season. He did it in the finals last season. So shockingly, they went out and got the reunion done.
They did get the reunion done. GP2 heads back, a defensive stud on a team that is desperately in need of some defensive stability. Goes into the rotation with guys like Dante DiVincenzo, Jordan Poole, obviously. And it's going to be fun. Listen, it's fun to have guys that contribute on championship teams back on your squad. And GP2 was a beloved figure last year. Love what he was about. sucked that he got hurt early in the playoffs and how he came back and he persevered through that and pushed through and was able to be a key contributor. And his whole story, thought this guy was going to be out of the league. And what he was able to do to get that contract and now be back on the team, it's pretty freaking cool. And one of the highlights and good parts of what came out of yesterday. A lot of negativity, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, I feel like, was being bestowed upon a lot of Warriors fans leading up to that trade. You thought you were going to get Anunoby and getting GP2 back. It's a nice consolation. And I think that's where a lot of Warriors fans are at this morning. Andrew Bogut, the center of the Golden State Warriors, runs that guy, that dude. He joined Steiny and Guru yesterday from a land down under. Shout out the Aussie. And he thought it was the right move for the Warriors to move on from Wiseman.
Know the game, you got to read the game, you got to read spacing, you got to kind of have a decent IQ, and he's still young and developing, and his skill set probably wasn't suited towards that. Now that he's gone to Detroit, and he's gonna get some touches, and maybe they'll allow him to play through 10 or 15 touches in the post, make or miss, and let him play through those mistakes. I think then we'll see where he's really at as a player. So I think it was the right move for Wiseman's career. I think the Warriors were good enough to let him move on and get on with life.
Get on with life. It's Andrew Bogut right there. He's just never thought it was a good fit for the Golden State Warriors for whatever reason. Just didn't have the proper skill set, the passing, what have you. You saw a guy like Andrew Bogut, you know what you were getting, a defensive rim stopper and a great passer. Now, maybe that's just all the Warriors need right now. That's when you heard guys like a Jared Vanderbilt, kind of guys like that mold. Maybe slightly undersized. Vanderbilt's like kind of a 6'8", but just someone that could be a rim stopper, right? And Wiseman, for whatever reason, he's young. Maybe that's the reason they just can't develop these guys when it's a win now in a championship window. It's hard to do that. That's the reality of this. And you're seeing it with players like a Trey Lance. It's hard, and I think teams overestimate their own abilities to try to bring in young guys on a championship-ready roster and think it'll be seamless. It's not seamless. It's very difficult. The pressure is extraordinary because it becomes all on that young guy. A lot of these young guys, and you saw the NFL honors last night, you saw a guy like Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson, they came in on a crappy New York Jets team, and they balled out. The pressure was not as high. Yeah, sure, there's pressure on Robert Saleh. He needed to perform. And by the way, that was only the third time, I think, third time ever in the last 60 years that a team drafted both the offensive and defensive rookie of the year. Last time it happened was back with the New Orleans Saints, Lattimore and Alvin Kamara. So hats off to the New York Jets there. And we'll get into more of the honors, NFL honors on the other side, getting some Super Bowl props as well, as the Super Bowl is this Sunday in Glendale, Arizona. But again, it's very hard to develop a young talent, a Ferrari, if you will, and bring them into the fold. And maybe Ferrari's not even the great example. It's like trying to bring a young Corvette that's not quite souped up yet, and you're bringing them on to a Formula One track when you're trying to win the whole damn thing. It's hard to do. Nice little car. Looks good. There's potential. But you know what? I need more than that. I need to win this freaking race. And right now, the Warriors realize James Wiseman is not going to be a contributor this year, next year, and that's the window. It's time to move on. Here's Bogut still thinking that you cannot count out the Golden State Warriors. Again, Andrew Bogut joined Steiny and Goo yesterday, and he thinks teams don't want to face the Warriors come playoff time.
Still a dangerous team. I mean, look, you from the play-in makes it a bit harder where they're at now. They're in ninth in the West. They could potentially go to 4-10 if they lose a game or two. Again, if they sneak into 5 or 6, I still, if I'm a 1, 2, 3, 4 seed, I don't want to play them. I think they really strategize playoff series as well. They really make good adjustments, and they've got some killers on that team that have been there. So that's the one team below maybe 5 or 6 that you do not want to see. But I think they do need to get a bit of consistency. But that comes down to injuries. It comes down to a bit of luck as well. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see if they can switch that quickly post All-Star break.
You never want to see the champs. It's tough. You never want to see the defending champion in any sport in the playoffs because you know that have what it takes to beat you. And the Warriors, obviously, they're still going to be one of the favorites come playoff time if they make the playoffs. Got to get through the play-ins to get to the playoffs, potentially. So they got to do that. That's first. Start gaining some separation. And we heard kind of a news dump during all that NBA trade deadline madness from the Warriors that Stephen Curry is going to be reevaluated after the All-Star break. So hopefully after the reevaluation sensation, shout out Tim Roy, Curry's going to be back. He'll be getting revved up to come back, and they can make a final stretch run here with the addition of Gary Payton II. And maybe you'll see from the buyout market see guys being floated around like a Serge Ibaka, Dwayne Dedmon, something like that. Okay. An old guy. The thing with the Warriors, and we saw it last year in that run, like size wasn't an issue for them. Kevon Looney, he was playing some games of his life. He had a 20 rebound performance. Was that against the Mavs? Like he was holding his own. So Loon Dog, I'm not worried about. I understand you want some depth. That would be nice. But when push comes to shove, I'm not really super worried about having a big and that being the difference between whether or not the Warriors win a championship or not. You saw it in the finals. It's about getting buckets. Bonte mentions that. That's what Bill Russell always mentioned. That's what the league is about. Can you shoot? And that's why I think a lot of teams, a lot of people are sleeping on Kyrie to Dallas as well. Once Luka comes back, that is a deadly combination. I mentioned that the best shooting combo in the league right now is probably KD and Devin Booker, but Luka and Kyrie are up there. Steph and Clay, obviously. But, man, the West is stacked and loaded again, and it is not going to be easy, and it never is for the Golden State Warriors and their hopes for back-to-back titles. 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570. We're going to take a quick break. Come on back. Super Bowl prop bets, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get into some of the NFL honors that were bestowed last night. We have a new Hall of Fame class. We know who's going to be going in, so we'll hear more from that. And a couple of 49ers. Their names were called last night. We'll get into that. Nick Bosa, D'Amico Ryans, George Kittle even with a award. So we'll get into that on the other side. This is the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
It's a football Friday on 95.7 The Game.
Like, the images don't make me happy. I'm not going to lie to you. All the images of Jimmy Garoppolo smiling down 21-7 and then 28-7, I don't like that. I know I played sports. You played sports.
Yeah.
I was a sore loser.
Okay.
Brought to you by the SF Sheriff's Office. Your future begins here.
Paid for by government.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 Gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 50 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-495-6468 and you are guaranteed a $10 Gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These Gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-495-6468. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-495-6468 now to secure your $10 Gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-495-6468.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's official. Fast just got a whole lot faster. Xfinity has the fastest internet with up to 6 gig speed. Plus, Xfinity Mobile is the fastest mobile service with 5G and millions of Wi-Fi hotspots. You heard that right. Xfinity just increased internet speeds again. And Xfinity Mobile gives you can't-catch-me speeds. The fastest internet, the fastest mobile service, and major savings? Can't argue with the facts. Now through March 21st, new customers can get started with 1.2 gig internet with unlimited data included. It's all just $50 a month for 2 full years with no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/faster, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. After 24 months, regular internet rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Golfers, tee it up at the Golf Mart with the new 2023 Aerojet woods and irons from Cobra Golf. The new Aerojet woods are designed with a unique aerodynamic shape that delivers faster clubhead speeds for longer drives. And the new Aerojet irons are made with hot face technology, so every strike delivers more distance. Elevate your game by swinging into the Golf Mart and get custom fit on the new Cobra woods and irons today. The Golf Mart, unmatched expertise, unmatched service.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni, Phil Collins Friday for all those who observe. Right here on the pregame show. It is a Friday. Congratulations if you're just getting off work, getting on work, getting ready for school. You made it. You made it. Now enjoy the sweet listenings of Phil Collins and Studio. Phil's the best. You know what else is the best? The Super Bowl, and it's this Sunday, and I cannot wait to watch Patrick Mahomes lose and the Kansas City Chiefs lose. I am trying to talk myself into the Eagles. I still haven't made my pick, and I'll make my pick during the crossover with Joe Shasky when he joins me next segment. But I think people are sleeping on just how good that Chiefs O-line has been. And I think they're jaded from past performances, mainly that Bucs performance in the Super Bowl a couple years ago when it was in Tampa Bay and Patrick Mahomes was running for his life constantly. That Eagles defense front, it's very good. And it's comparable and might be even better than that Bucs front and what they were able to do. Shaq Barrett, Vita Vea, and Ndamukong Suh, all those guys, when they wrecked shop and wrecked Andy Reid's offense and Patrick Mahomes a few years ago. Different O-line now, though. Very different. Very healthy, very good, and able to keep a guy who's a little bit hobbled, and we'll see how much he is hobbled, Patrick Mahomes, in that ankle sprain, and see if he's able to plant at all. And we'll know pretty early in that game how he's feeling, I'm sure. But I'm leaning Eagles still, but I think a lot of people, and too many, are just dismissing the Kansas City Chiefs, and you can never dismiss the future Hall of Famer, Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. These guys are just unbelievable, and time in and time out, that guy, 15, Patrick Mahomes, seems to extend plays when they have no business being extended, and he makes plays with his arm that just have no business being made, and yet he still finds a way. So we'll continue to discuss about that, talk about that. NFL Super Bowl prop bets. I love this stuff, and it's mostly just for my own amusement, and now all of you get to listen to it, but just some of these are just so ridiculous, and I need to know at 888-957-9570, 888-957-9570, all the degenerates out there, have you ever won big on any of these fun Super Bowl prop bets? And we're going to get into some of them right now, and, oh, thank you, little NFL primetime bet. The coin toss, always good. Right now, heads or tails, you can bet on that. Minus 105 via BetMGM. The heads has been dominating. 9-5 since 2009. And will it be 5 flips under 500 for tails? I always go tails, no matter what. Any coin flip, any game. Tails never fails. That's the moniker, and I'm going to believe in that. And if I had to gamble that, I would take tails at minus 105. Okay. The color of the liquid poured on the winning coach. We got orange at plus 250, yellow-green at plus 350. I'm sneaky purple at plus 900. That's the long shot, and then the longest is no Gatorade poured at all. That's plus 1,600. There's always going to be Gatorade. You're throwing away your money if you're taking that. Always a color. Don't think it's always going to be the same color as what the team is, like a green for an Eagles or an orange for the KC. I like purple at plus 900, folks. Purple, you got blue at plus 500, clear at plus 500, red/pink at plus 550. And it's always interesting, like the hue of it. Like red and pink, like it's, if you combine those, it's kind of purplish. Blue, right? The clear, the water, the clear is like, no, there's a light blue to that. So, going to be interesting for that one. What will be mentioned first during the Super Bowl MVP speech? At minus 120, it's the team and the teammates. And we saw this earlier in the week, the same thing when LeBron James won and broke the all-time scoring record, breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's. And the favorite was God, I believe. I'm going to thank God at minus 120, and he didn't take that. He thanked the fans. So maybe that's what odd makers are shifting as we speak. The team/team is minus 120. The city and the fans at plus 325. God and religion plus 370. Family at plus 690. Coaches plus 1,200. Team/owner plus 2,500. All right. Will a player propose after the game? There's a yes at plus 400, no at minus 650. I like the yes there. There's always someone proposing after a game. It doesn't matter. I'm going yes at the plus 400 there. Why not? It's great odds. Then you got the Super Bowl commercial prop bets. Which chip company commercial will air first? Doritos at minus 130. Got the Pringles at plus 100. 650, by the way, Xfinity Mobile text line. Thank you for chiming in. Last year, won $1,000 on blue Gatorade for Rams, yellow this year. Mitch from San Bruno. Listen to Mitch from San Bruno, folks. He's got yellow Gatorade this year. And let me go back real quick. Where did I have it? There we go. Yellow is going to be plus 350. Yellow green plus 350. Okay. Mitch and San Bruno, I see you. I see you. So I'm going proposal. I'm going purple Gatorade. And then Doritos at minus 130. Pringles at plus 100. Give me the Doritos in mind. It's always the Doritos. I don't remember any other commercial. And it's always Doritos. And it's always a beer commercial that'll make you cry or make you just say, what the hell did I just watch? Which snack company commercial will air first? M&M's minus 150. Doritos plus. Again, go on the Doritos. If you want more of the juice, which snack company commercial will air first? Doritos at plus 150. Which beer brand commercial will air first? Heineken at minus 115. Budweiser at minus 115. It's always Bud. It's always Budweiser. Not even close. And then you got the head-to-head first-to-air commercial props. You got Experian versus Rakuten. Avocados from Mexico versus Hellman's. Popcorners versus Pringles. That's just a good time. That's good. All right, so what do we learn here today, folks? We're going tails at minus 105. You got to build this prop builder up for me. You're going to win cash, all right? And if you don't, well, you shouldn't have listened to me. Listen to a 5 a.m. radio host. Doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. All right. Tails minus 105. We're going purple Gatorade plus 900. We're going... I'm going family at plus 690 for the Super Bowl MVP speech. Ah, man. If it's Patrick Mahomes, though, he's a big thanking God and thanking Jesus. I think I'm going to shift there. Plus 370. Those are good odds. God and religion thanked first because I have a sneaky suspicion Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to win this game. I'm going Doritos as the first snack company commercial to be aired during the Super Bowl. And I like Budweiser at minus 115 to be the first beer brand commercial. So there you have it. There's your winning plays over the weekend for the Super Bowl and the craziest exotic prop bets. Real quick, we got some NFL honors bestowed last night around the league. They do that every year now. You got the MVP, Patrick Mahomes, Coach of the Year, Brian Daboll of the New York Giants. Comeback Player of the Year, you thought maybe Christian McCaffrey, but it is Geno Smith. He didn't write back. The Offensive Player of the Year, so basically the best player that wasn't the MVP, that was Justin Jefferson, Vikings wide receiver. Your Defensive Player of the Year, the one and only Nick Bosa. Shout out Nick Bosa. Hell of a season. Hell of a year. Your Rookie of the Year, mentioned it earlier, on the offensive end was Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver. And on the defensive end, also from the Jets, Sauce Gardner, the cornerback. And you had the Hall of Fame class of 2023 announced as well. Oh, and I don't want to be remiss. Dak Prescott. This is an important award. Walter Payton Man of the Year. Obviously on the field, came up short, but off the field, does a tremendous work with mental health in that community. You know his story with what he's been through and his brother and all that sort of stuff. So shout out Dak Prescott, Walter Payton, NFL Man of the Year. He gets to wear that plaque on his jersey the rest of his playing days. And the Pro Football class of 2023 announced. No former Niner there. We had Rondé Barber of the Bucks, Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, Zach Thomas finally gets in. He's been on there a long time. He deserves it. DeMarcus Ware. And then as the coach contributor, Don Coryell. And on the senior committee, you had Chuck Howley, Joe Klecko, and Ken Riley. Joe Klecko getting in before Mark Gastineau. That's interesting. Mark Gastineau, I think, should have been in a long time ago. We get his off-the-field antics, all that sort of stuff. But, Klecko before Gastineau? Don't know about that. Don't know about that one. All right, we're going to take one more break here. Come on back. The Cross Jover is next. Joe Shasky, Joe Spadoni, talking a little NBA trade deadline, the aftermath of that. Gary Payton II, he is a Golden State Warrior. James Wiseman, he's a Detroit Piston. Plus, final thoughts on the Super Bowl and picks next. This is the pregame show, Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
If you want to lose weight once and for all and have tried fad diets and dubious products with little success, listen up. The FDA recently approved the weight loss medication semaglutide, and it's helping millions of patients from Hollywood to Broadway lose weight for good. At Balanced Medical Solutions, we can determine if this breakthrough medication is right for you. Step 1 is to identify any underlying conditions that can thwart your efforts, such as a hormonal imbalance. Stop guessing and arm yourself with knowledge. Our medical evaluation with labs is only $99. Call now, 510-679-3300, or visit balancedmedicalsolutions.com.
If you're considering remodeling your home in 2023, talk with your architect or designer about utilizing Golden State Window and Door for your upcoming project. Each location across the Bay Area features beautifully planned displays. You'll be surprised by the variety of styles. Their respected partners include Anderson, Milgard, Marvin, and many other top brands. For locations, images, and more, visit goldenstatelumber.com. Since 1954, Golden State. When you succeed, we succeed.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Every piece of land has a story. Some right there is behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor, like the Upshaws.
This is my tractor Penny. It's all about attention to detail.
But the Nelsons love cruising around their expansive Montana ranch in their John Deere Gator UV.
We've been here since 1868.
While the Caggianos drive a John Deere zero-turn mower to keep their Long Island brewery looking sharp.
Don't call me, don't bother me. I'm going out to mow for a couple hours.
Run with us and start telling your story. Learn more at johndeere.com/radio.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep your operation running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, Maria in Miami, and Jules in Troy, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with high-quality supplies for every industry, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Nachos! Yeah, your nachos!
Hey, I'll take some.
Great. And some Frank's Red Hot.
Oh, nah, I'm good.
Oh, you're just gonna eat these dry, plain, boring nachos with no Franks? Oh, seriously? Frank it up. Frank it up. Come on, lady. Frank it up. Frank it up. Frank it up. Yeah! Yeah, this guy finally gets it. Hey, look, we're on the Jumbotron.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. Frank's Red Hot. I put that on everything.
Now, back to the pregame show on 95.7 The Game.
Welcome back, pregame show. Joe Spadoni, Phil Collins Friday, and that is all. That's all, James Wiseman.
God, it's such a great song.
Oh, it's a banger. It's a banger. Phil Collins Friday just gets you in the mood, Chaz. It's a Friday. It's a feel-good Friday. It's a Super Bowl Friday. I know we're going to be talking a lot of NBA trade deadline aftermath. Gary Payton II, he is back. Bye-bye, James Wiseman. That experiment has failed. And Joe, just your initial thoughts on the madness that kind of... I felt the anxiety through the text line, through the chat from a lot of Warriors fans. You thought maybe you're going to get OG Anunoby. Then you realized the cost. Oh, are we going to get rid of Jonathan Kuminga? What are we doing? We're not getting Sadiq Bey. 5 second-round picks is somehow like everyone's just going to be trading second-round picks like it's nothing. And then after all the dust settles, you get Gary Payton II back. James Wiseman's in Detroit. Sadiq Bey is in Atlanta. Kevin Knox is in Portland. And your thoughts?
Just insanity.
Just insanity.
Insanity.
It's one of the craziest deadlines I can remember.
Absolutely. And I think the NBA as a whole, and this happened probably 5 or 10 years ago, but the transaction has superseded the action, right? Meaning we obsess over the potential deal or the deal that just happened more so than the actual game. Like, we spent more time breaking down Kyrie and the trade, and we haven't talked once. No, I have with Bonte. Bonte's brought it up. But, like, who's brought up, wow, Luka looked great in the final 6 minutes of that game. Kyrie looked great without Luka in the final 6 minutes of that game. Like, we're not even talking about the actual fit on the team or what the gameplay is going to look like. It's crazy to me. Warrior fans, man, just me. Joe, you're raising a young man, okay? You got a daughter.
I do.
And I've changed. Since I've gotten older, maybe I've gotten softer. I don't know. I don't know if James Wiseman's good. he's probably going to be bad. He's probably not going to be some all-time great or any of those things. Those guys are very, very rare, all right? I can't get over how disgusted I am by Warrior fans and their attitude toward a 21-year-old kid. Whether he's good, bad, he didn't ask to be chosen number 2 overall. He wasn't trying to hurt himself, you know? All those things. Like, the vitriol, the complete hatred I saw on social media. Goodbye, you suck. It's like, wow. Wow. If your child was treated like that, you'd feel a little bad. Like, oh, can we show an ounce of class and dignity on the way out the door? We picked this kid, and he's almost like, he's like the microcosm of everything that's wrong with the Warriors. And I just feel like it's so unfair. Simultaneously, God damn it, Warrior fans, you are so spoiled. You've won 4 championships. You're the reigning champs. Now, look, I want to win it every year, but I also understand sports are hard. It's hard to win championships. One of the faces of the league, if you were to just list top 5 faces of the league in the history of the NBA, Magic Johnson comes to mind, right?
Yes.
Okay. How many championships did he win?
5?
5. Yeah. Winning is hard. Yeah. Is Larry Bird one of the faces of the league?
Yeah, him and Magic together, I'd say.
Yeah. He had 3 championships. Yeah. All right. You've won 4. Now, look, again, I want to win as many as
James has won 4. Like, yeah, it's hard.
I want to win as many as possible. But to think that, like, they have underperformed yearly, like this is the Portland Trailblazers who get bounced in the first round. It's just, to me, that, and it's not all Warrior fans. I know there are so many that appreciate it. But it's like, it's hard to put together a championship team year after year as guys are making more money and their game is slightly declining and you're trying to tinker the rosters. Would 6 championships suffice? Because I guarantee there'd be a segment that say, nope, you should have won 10.
Yes.
And it's like, man, it's hard. If Steph doesn't come back this year, is it Joe Lacob and Bob Myers' fault?
No.
That they didn't win a championship?
No. But fans will just say it's like it's a lost year and another year older. And listen, I get it. The fact that it's very hard.
They've been to 6 finals.
They've been no, that's the point.
That's like video game stuff.
I think all the anxiety was building, and it stemmed from the report that the night before Kevin Durant's coming to the Suns. Like, that is what heightened it, because before that, I would feel pretty good, and I've been talking about it all year on the pregame show. I still feel good once push comes to shove in the playoffs about my chances if I'm a Warriors fan. Like, I'm not impressed.
I agree with you.
I'm not impressed with the Nuggets. You have to get there first. The play-in game would be scary. Like, that's another thing. Yeah. So
I agree with you.
I think that came to the realization, and then you saw all the teams after that starting to make moves because they also realized, oh, damn, like, the Suns team's really freaking good.
Yes.
Like, we need to get back. The Clippers, and Sam Amick was on the Morning Roast a couple days ago. He was talking about it with you guys. Like, listen, these are going to be the desperate teams, and they're all going to be making the moves. And they're all pretty much in the West. And you saw it with the Clippers, you saw it with the Lakers, you saw it with the Suns. Hell, you saw a little bit with the Grizzlies. Like,
doesn't it show how wide open it is?
Yes.
And how difficult
all these teams feel like they have a chance.
Exactly. Like, look, Dirk Nowitzki, whether you think he's one of the greatest players or just a really, really, really good player, he had an amazing career.
Yes.
The one championship.
One.
Right? Like, I guess what I'm trying to say today is that, like,
he's labeled a champion just because of that one. And
exactly.
Some people get a pass and some people don't.
I love Jason Kidd.
Yes.
Jason Kidd dragged the Nets to the finals multiple years.
Yes.
Okay?
Got popped against the Lakers.
He got his face kicked in, right, by the Lakers. But the point is, like, it's so hard to win titles. And I guess the overall consensus is that I think, and I feel so bad for the kid, whether they should have traded him for more and did this, whatever, it's irrelevant. How we treated this kid, to me, sticks out to me. And I know me as a broadcaster, I am going to try to have more empathy for some of these guys because they're real people, right?
Yes.
Like, they are real people, and I'm not saying that he's good. I'm not saying he's good because he's not good, and he hasn't really helped them. But my goodness, can we give him a little bit? He's 21.
Yes.
We do the same thing to Jordan Poole at times. We do the same thing to Trey Lance at times. We do this in sports, and it's disgusting. And I'm not saying it's everybody. It's not. It is a vocal minority on social media. And a part of me is like, man, dude, I can't even imagine how these guys navigate that stuff.
No, it's a really good point. And to your point, I've gotten older too, and I've become like a little more soft, whatever you want to call it. But no, I'm just becoming sympathetic and empathetic to people's situations.
Exactly.
Like, you don't know what someone's feeling in a day in bad basis, so you should just be nice. That's what I always tell people. Like, you don't know what someone else is going through. Don't be a jerk.
Exactly.
Like, that was my freshman year orientation. R.I.P. Brother Dunn, Palma High School. Like, that was his don't be a jerk speech to all the freshmen like coming into school. Like, hey, listen, everyone's new here.
Yes.
Don't be a bully to like, because they shared like a 7th and 8th grade below us too.
Mhm.
So it's like, don't be a bully. Like, just don't be a jerk. That's it. That's my mantra in life.
Yes.
Don't be a jerk on social. Don't be a jerk in person. And a lot of Warriors fans and I'm not just coming up Warriors fans, just sports fans in generals. They have this notion, and social media does not help.
No.
It does not help, that they could say and do whatever they want. And like, these guys aren't going to notice me. Like they see and hear every single thing. Stephen freaking Curry has been on this show. He was on with Steiny and Goo last year. We hear everything. And we see everything.
Of course they do.
They listen to this shit,
And
not
so
this
does-
show. They listen to this station. Like they listen.
And so does their family.
Yes.
And no, I'm not saying that we can't be critical here and there. What I'm saying is that when people are feeling low or whatever, like, do we really have to dump on them right on their face? No. And then, like, clearly, like, Warrior fans, the way that I saw, not all of them, but the way I saw them celebrating that he's gone, like, this is the kid who was anchoring everything and they didn't win anything because of him. That, to me, it felt like we were scapegoating every issue. And I would say to all these guys, you are the reigning champions. Okay?
You want toss out the 2 timeline thing, because I think that skewed a lot of people's minds heading into the season. It's like, oh, we just want a title and we're going to get James Wiseman. We're going to be built for the next. I was like,
name a business that doesn't want to have success now and into the future. Name any business in any sport.
But winning last year's title makes that irrelevant.
Of course.
Who cares? I don't care. You won. That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. Whatever. Full stop.
Which we never, honestly, if you're being real and you look in the mirror, Warrior fans, you probably thought you weren't going to win another championship.
After KD, I didn't think they were going to win another one.
Exactly.
And after the Steph injury and then the Clay, the Achilles, it's like, oh my God. Like, that's why it was last year was so special.
Exactly.
And that's why it's so weird to me why there's so much anger and anxiety and vitriol. You just won, and I get it.
But it's never enough.
We're the flagship. We want them to win.
Dude,
it's good for business.
I want to win
all
a
that
million
sort of
titles.
Yes, but at the same time, you have to have a large microscope and look at this thing like, listen, this is great.
Do you know how much just forget basketball. Do you know how much rarefied air you're in when you win 4 championships in a decade?
Yeah.
That's Yankee stuff.
Yes.
That's Pittsburgh Steelers,
Yes.
San Francisco 49ers
Lakers,
type stuff.
yes.
Like I am, and look, I don't even think there are days where I forget about it. I'm not saying that I have proper perspective every single day. But what I'm getting at is that, like, look, I like the Gary Payton Jr. Acquisition. It's a good move.
Yes.
But everyone's losing their mind. They paid historic money when it comes to luxury tax. Stop telling me Joe Lacob is the devil, okay? He's the reason why this thing's still together. Do you know how many organizations would have traded one of Clay or Draymond or somebody and not dipped their foot into the luxury tax?
When fans don't appreciate good owners, it actually really pisses me off as an A's fan having the worst owner in sports. And like, dude, this guy's actively trying to leave the freaking city.
Exactly.
Don't tell me that Joe Lacob's a bad owner.
Exactly.
Stop.
And then Bob Myers, like, everyone's like, Bob didn't do X, Y, and Z. Is he perfect? No.
He loves his players. He was crying when Kevin Durant got hurt. He loves his
Can
players.
I introduce you to all of the other GMs who would die to have 1/10 the resume of Bob Myers? You know how much of a good job this guy's done to put together a roster? Now, again, that doesn't mean they're perfect, and that doesn't mean that I'm not frustrated that they lost 2 finals. But let's take a step back. I know it's impossible. Just take a step back. You beat LeBron James 3 times in the finals.
Yes.
Warrior fans.
Yes.
And you won a 4th ring when no one thought you would ever win another one.
Yes.
And you have an opportunity to maybe do it again. Maybe this year, maybe next year. But if it doesn't come to fruition, no, these aren't horrible owners and horrible GMs. They're actually amazing at what they do. And one day, both will get statues somewhere.
Absolutely. That's Joe Shasky. He's going to be joining Bonte Hill next. More trade deadline. Real quick, Shasky.
I'm sorry. It just really triggered me. I felt bad for the kid yesterday.
No, absolutely. And I think a lot of people do share that same sentiment. We're not calling out all Warriors fans, obviously. There's a good segment that feels the same way. It's just a small portion of every single fan base that does this. And
bro, I just looked at the comments underneath them announcing the trade, and I was like, God.
Super Bowl. Your thoughts, real quick. I keep hearing a lot of people loving the Eagles, and I think they're really sleeping on this Chiefs O-line. This Chiefs O-line is not this Chiefs O-line we saw against the Bucs in the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
No, they're a lot better.
They're super good, and I understand that Mahomes might be a little bit compromised. I'm just not betting against him. I don't feel good about my money when I'm betting against Patrick Mahomes. And I think the Chiefs are going to win.
Please, dear God, Andy and Patrick.
I don't want them to win.
begging you.
I am telling you actively, I am
know.
rooting for the Eagles. I'm sorry you guys had a horrible. I can't have the Chiefs tying the Raiders in the division for most Super Bowl titles. And Broncos.
Joey, I need this. I need this. I need a favor called in. I need this so bad. And the other guy no one's talking about, Chris Jones, if you have a game in you, please. And you horrible human being, Frank Clark, can you do something? Can you just do something in this game? Please.
I know you're a tremendous POS, but can you please do something good in this game at least?
I mean, you know what, though? Honestly, I'm so glad we've got to Friday and barely talked about this game because it makes me sad that my team's not in. And again, as we talk about the 4-time champion Warriors, my Niners, who have been very successful and giving me so many memories, they can't win one to save the life of me. And it's like, God, and they've been so good. They've been to 6 NFC championship games in a decade.
Winning is hard. That's all I'm going to say. Winning a freaking chip is hard. That's just, it doesn't come easy. That's Joe Shasky. He's coming up next. 50 Cent Friday, Bonte Hill, Joe Shasky, Morning Roast, Football Friday right here, 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KG.